You can almost smell the thread. Warm cotton held to the sun, a ribbon of gold that has lost some of its shine, but not its stories. Scissors whisper, a needle pulls through silk, and someone hums an old Apsara tune. Quiet stones, loud stories. Today, we sit in a cool sewing corner of a temple to meet the person who keeps costumes and banners mended, who stitches memory back into cloth.
Hello, I'm Sam Nong Bradley. In this episode, The Temple Tailor, Mending Cloth, Mending Memory, will follow a tailor who repairs Apsara costumes, rewires ceremonial banners, and teaches an apprentice how to decide when to restore and when to let a cloth rest. I promise field sounds, close voices, and practical tips if you visit. Stay with me.
From a cultural standpoint, this matters because textiles in Khmer ritual and performance are not just decorative. They carry lineage, motifs that mark family, temple, or regional identity, and the choices people make when mending reveal how communities value continuity. I'll add some technical notes later about materials and conservation.
Quick context. The Apsara costume you see in classical dance is layered: sampat, embroidered silk skirts, beaded belts, and a gold-flecked sampat sash. Ceremonial banners, called sadok in some temples, are hand-painted or embroidered and used in ordinations and festivals. Historically, patterns reference myths, donors, and even harvest seasons. I link sources and suggestions for further reading in the show notes. Now, let me take you into that sewing room. The tailor we met, he prefers to be known as Mr. Chan, works in a shaded courtyard. He is slight, deliberate, and his hands move like they remember 1,000 ceremonies. He told me, speaking slowly and smiling, that cloth remembers more than people think. Mending is listening to that memory. I want you to hear a longer scene we recorded with him and his apprentice. He leans over an Apsara collar, the thread catching the morning light. "This stitch," he said, "we use the same angle as the dancer's step. It keeps the motion familiar." His apprentice asked when to replace a sash versus when to rebind it. The monk nearby, who watches and blesses offerings, said quietly that some cloth are household ancestors, better kept whole, even if faded. When I asked if I could photograph the repair, Mr. Chan touched the fabric and told me the right way is to ask and show respect, not just point a lens.
The layers matter. From an anthropological sense, repair work is a form of intangible heritage, skills handed down that are not always in textbooks. The decisions a tailor makes reveal tensions. Conservation principles favor stability. Ritual practice values continuity. For instance, removing old stitches to fully restore a sash might erase a visible timeline of worship. That complexity is why Mr. Chan and the monk have different but complementary ideas.
There was a moment I keep thinking about. A ceremonial banner. It's red, gone to a soft tomato, with dates and donors' names stitched into the hem. The apprentice suggested patching only the torn part. Mr. Chan paused, finger on the faded name, and said, "If we hide the names, we hide who brought this here." That small decision, leave, mend, or renew, feels like choosing how a community remembers itself.
Technically speaking, materials matter. Traditional silks dyed with local plant pigments age differently than modern synthetic threads. Conservators recommend assessing the textile fiber strength before cleaning or stitching. In the field, that looks like a simple pull test and a conversation with the elder. Always document condition with notes and a few photos, date-stamped with permission, so future caretakers understand what changed and why.
We recorded a short exchange that shows apprenticeship in motion. The apprentice, laughing with nervous pride, tried a traditional knot and tugged too tightly. "Gentle," Mr. Chan said, smiling, like holding the hand of a child stepping into dance. They both laughed. That warmth is how skills survive. You hear their hands, the needle, the monk's pipes far off, and for a few minutes it felt like time folding in on itself.
Now a moment of sound. Listen to the sewing room. Scissors against fabric, market chatter in the distance where they buy dyes, a temple bell ringing faintly as cloth moves under the needle.
That soundscape is deliberate. Ambience grounds you in place. When we recorded, we captured a 90-second loop of room tone, plus a short sequence of dye sellers calling numbers at the market. For podcasters and visitors, when you record, capture at least 30 seconds of room tone and ask permission before recording vocal exchanges. That practice respects people and gives editors something clean to work with.
Later, I sat with a retired weaver who now advises Mr. Chan. She traced a pattern on a torn hem and told me a story about the motif, a little naga coiled with a lotus. She said softly that every repair is a conversation with ancestors. That line stayed with me. Mending cloth is mending memory. It reminded me that heritage is less about museums and more about daily care.
Before we move to practical advice, one conservation nuance. If you encounter a temple textile that is a ritual object, ask the temple steward if it is appropriate to touch or photograph. Some banners are consecrated and should not be moved. If the community allows photography, avoid using flash on fragile pigments and keep your distance. Use a longer focal length or ask for a staffed viewing instead.
Practical takeaway and visitor tip. If you'd like to support textile makers, bring respectful curiosity rather than bargaining hard. Buy small tools or materials, commission a repair, or donate to a local preservation fund if one exists. When photographing, ask, show your screen, and offer a printed photo later if the person wants it. And if you meet a tailor like Mr. Chan, bring patience. Listening and learning matter more than a snapshot.
If you work with museums or community groups, follow proper crediting. List the tailor, temple, and any performers for archival records. Secure written permission for music or chant you plan to publish. These steps keep relationships healthy and protect the community's rights.
As we close, imagine that small sewing corner again. A sleeve patched, a monk blessing the thread, an apprentice learning to tie a knot so the next generation can step into costume. Mending is a humble act, but it holds a village's memories. If this story touched you, meet more makers with us. There are more quiet traditions waiting.
Thank you for listening to Ancient Echoes KHE. In the show notes, you'll find sources, links to organizations that support textile preservation, and credits for Mr. Chan, the apprentice, the temple steward, and the weaver who shared stories with us. Quiet stones, loud stories. Walk the temples with me.
One last note from me. If you want transcripts, chapter markers, or a short field checklist for respectful textile visits, head to the episode page. We document permissions and credits there, and we welcome feedback from diaspora listeners who have their own family mending stories to share.